My name is Wuddy Warsono from Danantara Indonesia Investor Relations team. Today, we are going to talk about Danantara Indonesia. And I would like to start with framing a question that is, I think, a bit stubborn, but I think important. And the question is, how do we make sure that we can optimize the performance of the Danantara companies, the SOEs, so that they can generate cash flows and dividends that can later on be deployed wisely for the benefit of the future Indonesians. I think this question matters because we receive a lot of these questions as one thing, but also by addressing these questions, we believe that we can make sure that our professional work is honest. And we at Danantara like to claim that success is not defined only by projection profit, but also by how we allocate the capital to make sure that the success of Danantara is positively correlated with the development of the human capital in Indonesia. We trust that we want to also address the questions of how, in this opportunity, how we can continue to think long-term in a world that's so obsessed with the short-termism. And also, we want to make sure how we can allocate capital in a way that is credible to both domestic audience and also credible to our global partners. Today, we are joined by two distinguished gentlemen. There is also sitting at this very crossroad that I just talked about. The first gentleman is Mohamad Al-Arief. He is an MD with Danantara Super Holding, BPI, and he's in charge of governance and global relations. So for Pak Al-Arief, the main focus, the key focus is really on the trust architecture. The second gentleman is Pak Stefanus Ade Hadiwidjaja. He is an MD with Danantara Investment Management, and he is in charge of the private, meaning non-public investment at Danantara. So his job is tough. He needs to balance between delivering economic return, but also at the same time helping to advance economic growth for Indonesia. So here's the flow. Pak Al-Arief and Pak Stefanus will present their deck briefly. Then we can open it up for Q&A. You can ask them questions. You can challenge their assumptions. And I think with that, let's start. Pak Al-Arief and Pak Stefanus, thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Pak Wuddy, for the kind introduction, and thank you so much for everyone for joining at our pavilion this morning. I think this session is more of an introductory to our institution. This is Danantara's first participation at World Economic Forum. Perhaps your familiarity with our institution is also very minimal. This is an opportunity for us to introduce our entity. This is a Danantara 101 session, 2 credits per semester. So we'll share a bit about how we work, how we plan to engage, and where we are in terms of overall scheme of things, in terms of the nation's growth. I do apologize. I know we don't like PowerPoints, but I'm going to use it anyway, so you can get a gist about our institution. I hope this works. Okay. Can somebody help?
Okay, then operate. Next slide.
Okay, next slide.
Okay.
All right. So we like to say that Danantara is in the business of powering the future, and as you know, Indonesia has big dreams for the future. In 2045, when the nation commemorates its 100th year as an independent nation, we aim to be a high-income nation by that time. So it's actually just 20 years from now. It's a goal that we collectively aspire to reach. So we're currently obviously an emerging economy, a middle-income economy. Hopefully we'll crawl our way into a higher middle-income economy, eventually meet that threshold to become a high-income economy. So the previous, I think, panel mentioned about the need to escape from the middle-income trap. A lot of several of our East Asian neighbors are able to do that. Singapore is one good example. Malaysia is in the process of heading that way. And in 20 years, we aim to be, the third in Southeast Asia to reach that goal. And we like to say that we, as an institution, are created to be an additional engine, an additional instrument in order to reach that goal. So we are, in a way, an embodiment of that national goal, right? So how we are, incorporated and how we work, we'll go through it a bit, in a sense. Our institution is led by professionals and people who actually know what they're doing. We've celebrated our 11th month, we'll call it anniversary. We were established in February last year. So this is actually an institution that are expected to fly high while we're building the plane at the same time. So, and I could, we can attest, most of us who's been, working for this institution, we have to move very fast in this front. We are organized in a way to ensure that our governance framework, our institutional framework, is equipped to reach that goal in terms of governance, in terms of risk, and in terms of the operational policies and so forth. Basically, the vision is and the mission is to create an additional engine of growth, for the country, unlocking value and also driving investment. Danantara consists of two main arms in this sense. We have what we call an operational holding. An operational holding, the operational holding is in charge of managing a portfolio of state-owned enterprises. The last time we count, it's 1,068 state-owned enterprises under around 50 holding companies, and obviously of different sizes and also sectors. The second arm is what we call the investment holding, and this is the entity that we hope to become an agent of economic growth through investments. Next slide. So Danantara has, we like to call ourselves as a sovereign wealth fund with a dual mandate. Obviously, some sovereign wealth funds are extremely focused with maximization of returns. As long as you bring in maximum return, we're happy. From our end, return is something that we certainly sought for, but an additional mandate that's given to us is that it needs to have socio-economic impact to the nation. So that is an equally important goal that we need to reach. Maximizing development impact, at the same time maximizing returns. So obviously that our work is cut out for us. Yes, we are given this dual mandate to us. Now, many sovereign wealth funds also are given the similar task of achieving or given this socioeconomic goals or development mandate in addition to the maximization of returns. So we like to, within the continuum, within our peer institutions, if you like, we're around this goal. We have peer institutions like Hazana in Malaysia, who also has similar dual mandate, and IDQ, for example, in the UAE, who has similar dual mandate. Well, if you go up to the Norges, the Norges Bank, maximizing returns is their sole mandate. So obviously, how we work, we need to look after these two elements within our goals. Next slide. So this is how we operate, in a sense. So I mentioned about the two arms within Danantara, the asset management arms that sort of try to bring transformation and also efficiency and professionalization in terms of maximizing the returns from the state-owned enterprises. Remember, 1,068 state-owned enterprises within 50 holdings. So this is not an easy task. Between now and the years to come, we will do a lot of transformation of those SOEs. From the operations of our asset management arm, annually they yield dividends. The dividends will then be carried over to our investment arm, where those investments, for driving investments in strategic sector is done. And this is what my colleague, Pa Steph, is doing. He's part of the investment arm. And his task is to ensure that we get good returns, but at the same time, we're also getting a lot of socioeconomic impact from what we're doing. Again, unlocking value and driving investment. Next slide. So, from our state asset management arm, in the next 3 to 4 years, we expect to see a lot of consolidation. Obviously, with 1,068 state-owned enterprises, we hope to bring more efficiency, professionalism, and also to ensure that our SOEs become competitive regionally and globally. We have 2 state-owned enterprises within our portfolio that's currently a Fortune 500 company, Pertamina and PLN. And hopefully there will be more to come that will, be Fortune 500 companies through the process of this transformation. Perhaps within 3 to 4 years, from 1,068, it'll be transformed to slightly over 200 professionally run state-owned enterprises that can be more competitive in the long run. They will go through a whole series of what we call transformation programs, right? They're currently doing fundamental business reviews of each of their business lines. There will be a phase where they will be streamlining through mergers and consolidations, and then also towards the end, bringing more value creation in the process. Our asset management arm currently, I think, manages around 12 billion annually, around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think 900 billion overall.
900 overall, yes.
Danantara.
Yes. So within 5 years from now, we have to increase further that through value creation and so forth, and gradually reach our goal of even tripling or that amount within 2030. So I think that's the general gist of how we work. And then I'm going to turn it over to Pa Steph to tell us about the investment dimension of the work. Over to you, Pa Steph.
Okay. Thank you, Pa Arief. So I'll deep dive a little bit on the second arm, which is the Danantara Investment Management.
Next slide.
Again, the overall Danantara consists of 2 arms, the asset management, investment management. Overall, the total asset under management is around 900 billion, so which put us among the top 10 sovereign wealth fund. But I'll deep dive more on the right side, which is the Danantara Investment Management. What being mentioned by, so this one chart try to summarize at least our initial strategy on the Danantara investment management. As what Pak Arief mentioned about the dual mandates, so this is key. We always start with this mandate, which is to realize sustainable returns. We want to accumulate wealth for the future generation, but at the same time, we want to create an economic impact and social impact to enhance national resiliency. So I'll go straight to the three pillars. With that mandates, we try to structure the asset allocation into three buckets. First is the strategic pillars. Why we call it strategic? This is primarily investing in project both domestically and also globally, with the main focus of creating economic and social impact for Indonesia, while also still delivering a decent return. Second pillar is the private investment. So we want to invest in private deals, both domestically and globally across different sectors. That is in line with our Astacita, which is the 8 goals of the country. And we also, to achieve the mandate, we try to diversify also in public investing, also domestic and globally, with the main focus for public investing is obviously to generate the return. So with these three pillars, hopefully we can balance between the two mandates. We can achieve both, while at the same time managing the risk and optimizing the return. The other point that I want to highlight in here is the bottom. At the end of the day, I think for us, as Pak Arief mentioned, only 11 months, pretty much the first 6 to 8 months is just preparing the foundation, because we want to really build something that lasts in the long term. We want to move very fast, but as we always say, we are not moving in a hurry. We want to make sure we have a strong foundation, especially in people, in governance, risk management process. So these are some of the key things that have become our main focus in the past 11 months. So by having a strong foundation, hopefully we can build this house over time, build a strong house that being able to achieve the vision and the mandate. So that's a summary of this chart. Next. With that, we have, after we define the broad asset allocation, we go deeper into what are the key sectors that we will focus first in the first few years. Again, this is dynamic. This is not a static decision. Over time, we'll keep reviewing, but we know to deliver the mandate, we also want to see where Indonesia has the strength and which are the largest opportunities. So we start with these 8 sectors, including mineral, renewable energy, healthcare, infrastructure, food and agriculture, and so on. And then as mentioned, while that's mainly for the private, while on the public, we try to start investing also in multiple asset class. Public equity, fixed income, liquid alternatives, and some portion in the cash. So these are the second layer of strategy when you see from the sector perspective, and also a deeper dive on the asset allocation, particularly on the public equity. Next. And then when we design, we also, important for us to see what's happening outside, what's happening globally, what are the key trends. There are a few things that become our input when we design our strategy and when we do investing. We know AI is one of the key investment team. We know what happened with the geopolitics. Hopefully we can benefit with what people call the China plus one situation. Number 3, the green transition, very important. Also the evolving trade dynamics, and also some uncertainty by we are facing a really volatile world. So by knowing what happened globally, again, this is also not static. This is, we always review. We try to devise the strategy and make the right investment decision. Lastly, if we go to the, I think, previous slide. Next slide. This is just example. If you see from the first 2 pillars, the strategic and the private investment, currently we are working on, if I see the latest numbers, 30 to 40 live deals. Obviously, it's in different stages. But I want to give you example 3 deals that we are working to give you a sense of what we are going to achieve in the next 1 or 2 years. First, we are implementing the national scale waste to energy. Yesterday, we had a very good discussion with the Swiss Chamber of Commerce discussing about the issue in Indonesia and how Danantara coordinating with all the other stakeholders, trying to execute the implementation of waste to energy plans in more than 30 cities over the next 2 years. This has become an emergency issue in Indonesia, but at the same time, this is example of an investment that tried to deliver both mandates. One is to fix the current emergency issue in waste and environment in Indonesia, but at the same time, through the investment, we want to bring in a global operators and invest and also make a decent return so that this can be a sustainable business. Number 2, we are looking into investing in plasma-derived medicine products. So making the product of plasma derivative product from our blood. And number 3, big project of Kampung Haji in Indonesia. I think if you read also in the media, it's being announced that we have started investing in some of the plots in Mecca. And I think this is very important because we have the largest Umrah and Hajj in Saudi, in Mecca. And I think now we have the opportunity to develop Kampung Haji to be able to deliver a higher quality experience for our people. So these are some of the examples of projects that will deliver these dual mandates. Next. And I think this is the last slide. This is what we want to conclude, that while we are investing, as what Pak Arief mentioned, we get the dividends from the asset management. We try to optimize the return and the impact from that capital, but at the same time, we want to expand our capacity of investing, but prudently. So in the past 11 months, we have managed to build many collaboration, many partnership that will lead to foreign direct investment with the like of financial investors like QIA, China Investment Corporation, Future Fund from Australia, INA from Indonesia, JBIC from Japan, but also with the strategic operators, the like of Achua Power for energy transition, CATL for battery, Aramet for nickel, and so on. So that will enable us to invest bigger together with them, but also we expand our capacity through the RCF. This is a $10 billion credit facility. Is probably, I think it's not probably, it is the largest fundraising ever in Indonesia, and also Patriot bonds. This is more a concessional financing, a low-cost debt that will help us invest in certain area that probably for a typical financial investor is still slightly below commercial return. But through the concessional financial model like Patriot bond, we can enhance the return. So these are just a brief about what we have achieved and our plan in the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Arief and Pak Steve. I think a few words that I've been hearing consistently from both presentations: dual mandate, that's a portfolio return and advancing economic growth, positive economic spin-off, and also you want to move very fast, 11 months, and you want to run fast, but at the same time, I've been hearing we are not rushing this. We want to get the process right. So let's open it up for Q&A, and if you don't mind, I want to kick off with one question each for Pak Arief and also Pak Stef. Yeah. So Pak Arief, you mentioned about reform. Yeah. You mentioned about the number of SOEs going forward is going to be slimmed down significantly in the years to come. So reform is in principle about making unpopular decisions. So in terms of trading short-term political comfort for long-term market trust, do you mind to talk briefly about it and if there is a recent example of this? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So what's interesting is when the composition of this inaugural leadership of Danantara was made, you can see from the list there are actually a lot of professionals, people who are recruited from the market and talents that you find at the national scale. And if you can't find it at the national level, they look for the diaspora. I think I'm an example. I lived and worked in the United States for 25 years. I came back to serve in Danantara. If they can't find it among the diaspora, they look among expatriates as well. So the leadership is quite a nice group of diverse professionals that can actually afford to push this reform because there's no political baggages in order to do that. I think reform must be done, whether we like it or not, in order to reach that. A recent example that we did was when we, as a leadership, and Pak Rosan and others were obviously very supportive of this. Is when we decided to abolish the bonus pay for non-executive leadership of our SOEs. We call it tantiems for Board of Commissioners. Obviously, politically, it's unpalatable. It's not a popular decision. It was one of the first decisions we made early on. I think it was in July or August. It was not popular, obviously, because a lot of people are affected by it. But when it was launched, we were, the public was 99.9% supportive of the decision, because we, in terms of that compensation reform, we wanted to bring it up to global best practices. We abolished that. And then, as a result, we actually save to the tune of 6 to 7 trillion rupiah every year by abolishing tantiems or bonus pays for non-executive board members. Yes. So I think this is one example, and we will, in due course, announce more and more of this reform. If I may add also, Pak Wuddy, when we consolidate our SOEs, we will do it in a way that is also, prudent. Prudent in a way that, we have to ensure that the impact to job loss is minimal, but the impact to overall performance of the company is optimal. For example, we recently learned that our 1,068 state-owned enterprises at various levels own about over 50 hospitals. Our oil and gas company own hospitals. Our Sea Lane company, Pelni, own hospitals, and and others own hospitals. We ask, why this subsidiary that is not part of their core business is there. So what we decided to do was establish a special holding for healthcare that was never there before within our SOE ecosystem. So we spun off these hospitals because petroleum engineers does not make the best hospital managers. So we took the hospitals that are from Pertamina and so on, and then it's held under one holding company called Indonesia Healthcare Corporation. So by the establishment of that, the impact is it will be more professionally run. It's run by people who knows the business, who make it a core business. And then because you reach an economies of scale with a number of hospitals in under one roof, then you can negotiate better with others and so on, and operate more efficiently. This is just one, several examples of how we consolidate prudently and also introduce reform prudently. Thank you, Pak.
Thank you, Arif. 99.99% support. Interesting. Okay. If mungkin boleh mic-nya ya. Silakan, Pak.
Thank you, Mark Dangle speaking. I'm wondering, with regard to your asset management currency that you're using, obviously all your state-owned enterprises are in rupiah. However, you translate it back into dollar to give us a sense what the size is. Do you also hedge yourself, or you have a shadow calculation in a hard currency because the dollar is losing, Indonesian rupiah is losing? Do you have a long-term strategy to hedge yourself differently?
Yeah. Our book is in rupiah. We don't hedge, but when we do the investment, we definitely take into account this currency risk, right? So we want to make sure there's also a play in how we balance the portfolio. So that's one of the strategy on how to make sure indirectly we hedge, but we are not directly hedging our book. It's too expensive, I guess. Because sometimes when we invest, we are not like a typical closed-end funds or private equity where we have to exit, so you have a finite time, right? Sometimes our investment is for 50 years. I mean, doesn't make sense to hedge. But the way we structure the portfolio will help on reducing the risk.
Pak Steph, I would like to add there that the money going your way is going to be 100% rupiah. The dividend is going to be 100% rupiah.
Yes.
Okay. So no hedging there. Yeah. Okay. Understood. Any more questions? If not, I'm probably going to use the opportunity to ask Pak Steph questions. Because you mentioned about the 8 priority sectors just now, and you were talking about the important thematic that you want to pursue. So just wondering, if you come across an opportunity, investment opportunity, that is beyond the sector you discussed, but from the return point of view is very attractive, what are you going to do? Are you going to just kill it because it doesn't fit in the thematic, or are you going to review it?
Okay, I think back to the point of the portfolio strategy. I think for us to deliver the mandate, the asset allocation, a balanced portfolio is very important. And what is inside the balanced portfolio is including how we ensure we have probably a decent return investment, but a high impact to the economy and social, but also few that probably the focus is not impact, but the focus is purely from the return perspective. So when we combine, it becomes a balanced portfolio that is able to deliver our mandates. So to your question, Pak Wuddy, we can be opportunistic, we can look into it, but we also have limited resources. At Danantara Investment Management is less than 100 people. We have to manage that pillars with currently more than $12 billion asset, including the debt and so on. So we have to look into each deal strategically, but also opportunistically. If it's very high return, but the risk is too high and the size is small, probably we'll try to avoid.
Doesn't move the needle.
Because for us, is set aside the strategic impact, is in investing, it's not all about return, it's the risk, right? How we try to balance the return and the risk. We always call it risk-adjusted return. So some investment might give you 10x if you make it, but the 90% probability the investment will lose everything. That's probably not the area that we'll pursue.
More or less 100 people in the investment team. Is that only for the non-public portfolios, or that's everything?
It's everything, because in short, if we define it, it's almost balanced, probably a bit more on what we call on the governance, back office, risk management, control, because for us it's very important. And the other half is what we call the front office, which include the private investment, public investment, and also the key support like legal and so on, and also corporate finance and also fundraising. So we try to balance what we call the front office and also on the governance side. It's all total 100 people.
Thank you, Stef. With that, I would like to open it up to the floor again. Any taker?
I should just ask, 100 is within the investment arm, and so total Danantara, I think, is slightly over 300 people.
From only 2 persons not too long ago.
Well, from 3 people in February to 300, so that's a 100-fold increase in terms of human capital.
I just have a question concerning drinking water. We're a company, we do a lot of drinking water projects worldwide. We're also trying to set up now in Mamasa Regency for drinking water provision. How is drinking water important in your portfolio, first of all? And second, how do you work together with, although our local companies, Indonesian, we're going to set up an Indonesian company, but it's fully Belgium owned because I'm from Belgium. So how do you work with that? Is that possible? And what are the requirements for you guys to step in these kind of constructions?
Okay, sure. I think to your first question, yes, it's important. If you see the 8 sector that I share, one of the sector is utilities, with including waste, water, transmission, and so on. That's fall under the utilities. So, but again, disclaimer: we are new, so we have not really start all the sector at the same times. On the utility, we focus first on the waste management, but we are start learning about the opportunity in water management and so on. In fact, yesterday we had a good meeting also with a Swiss-based company and Netherlands-based company on this. That's first. So definitely we are open to discuss if there is an idea to invest, and hopefully start small, but it can be a large scales, because now security, national security in water is also one of the key things within the Astacita. So yes, it's important. Second, one thing that I have not highlighted, the way we deliver the investment, we call it the strategy, the tactic, is given we have a very limited people. Out of the 100 people, my team is only 25 people, but we need to deliver so many different things. Our model is what we call investing through partnership and through platform build. One example, again, the waste to energy is a good example. We built the platform, which is big platform focused on investing this, but we execute it through partnership because we don't have the expertise. We are a financial investor. We can help on the regulation side, how to coordinate with all the stakeholders domestically, but to deliver the technology, to develop, to do the EPC and so on, we partner with the global and local companies. So I think this is a model that can be copied to other projects in water.
Just as additional point to what Pak Stef has said, when you look at the utility sectors, it's also, I think, depending on the sector, is actually managed in a different way. Indonesia has at least 3 spheres of government. It's a large country, obviously. You have the national government, you have provincial government, and then sub-provincial government, which is municipality and also regencies, if you like. For electricity, obviously, it's managed nationally through PLN, we call it. This is the SOE that manage electrification and so forth. So nationwide, it's done through our portfolio companies, PLN. For drinking from water provision, it's at the sub-provincial level. So obviously, government is involved in the development of it, but the day-to-day management of it is done at the sub-provincial level. So I think we need to also look at which sector of the utilities for your specific sector is managed that way.
Thank you, Arief.
Stef,
yeah.
A question from me. So you mentioned about waste to energy, and just for the benefit of the audience here, is it something that belongs to the Danantara asset or Danantara investment? That's question number one. And question number two, if any of the attendees here they would like to participate in this project, how do they follow the tender process?
Okay, this project is under Danantara Investment Management. So because we're starting from scratch, new investment and so on. On the second question, this is what we share yesterday with the Swiss Chamber of Commerce. We have run tender and will continue to do few more tender process, given we have to execute this up to 30 cities or even more. So there will be many tender. Each city there will be one dedicated tender. So you can imagine so many different tender. We just start the batch 1 of tender for 4 cities. We will announce the winner beginning next month, and we'll do the groundbreaking hopefully end of first quarter or early quarter 2. But that's only the beginning, because only 4 cities will continue, and then we will announce either through media or through our website.
It's local media.
Local and also few international media.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you. I'm Olivier Marié from Amundi. When you look at China and India, one of I would say, the very big plan that these countries had in the past and still have was to leverage all the savings from individuals in the country, in order to invest and develop capital market and invest in the economy. What's your plan regarding this type of topic? So do you have any plan to mobilize, savings from Indonesian, or do you plan to leverage all this in order to accelerate investments in the country and in the economy? Thank you.
Mengenai asset management, I don't know. Sorry, just to clarify, what you mean by leverage the personal saving?
Well, in fact, so mobilize the savings and focus these savings on, investment in the country, on capital markets in the country.
Understand. Thank you. I understand there are a few countries that follow this model. In fact, yesterday I just met PNB from Malaysia. Is that what you mean, right? Because they also create a product invested by retail individuals with a guaranteed return, and then they use the money to invest domestically and globally and make profit to deliver what they promise. For now, we don't have specific goals. I think most of the retail savings is managed by the banks. We have the director of one of the largest bank in Indonesia here, Ibu Novita. Pak Arief, any other thought? I personally don't see this in the near future.
I have your card, and I'll check with our asset management arm whether that's it in the horizon. Thank you.
I can probably add a little bit, because the way asset management industry has been growing in Indonesia in the past decade or so. It's been slow. I think we have to admit it. If you look at the figure, it's really punching below the weight, because if you measure it as a percentage of the GDP compared to the peers in the region, I think Indonesia stands out how low it is, and of course that spells opportunity, and that's I think the very reason Amundi is interested. And if you talk to the general public, I think you can sort of understand that some of them they want to be a bit careful buying mutual funds because some bad experiences in the past. But I think it's probably been a while now, and things are better supervised, and I think. The big trend that the ratio of total asset under management as a percentage of the GDP it's just too low. I think the industry is very, very attractive, and definitely would recommend you look into that.
Thanks for the panel. My name is Christian from Camp Investment. Indonesia is a very commodity-rich industry. I think a lot of investment goes to commodities. I want to see your view on digital commodity, which is an upcoming topic. A lot of people, sovereign nations, start accumulating some bitcoins, for example, as a national reserve to protect inflation and reserve the purchasing power. What is your view as you manage a large size of fund, and would that be one of the considerations?
Yes, that's become more and more important asset class, right? Crypto and so on. That will fall under the public investing, which is led by Pak Ali Setiawan. I think he might have some thought, but we have not really finalized on the strategy. But it is definitely fall under under the public investing arm, but probably not in the short term. But let's see, who knows?
So, do you think it's better to buy the exchange or the coins?
Potentially both.
Or better to buy gold now?
Yeah, because Indonesia also has a large crypto presence. Yes. I think one of the largest Southeast Asia exchange is based in Indonesia. So potentially sustaining those kind of innovation could help the nation to thrive. Especially the younger population is very welcoming using this kind of digital assets.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have space for one last question, if anybody wants to take it. Okay. Yeah, silakan.
Thank you. Mark Dangle again. On your waste to energy strategy, we're very interested in hearing more. We have actually tried to participate in a tender in Semarang last year. We found it very difficult to participate as a foreign company to comply with your prerequisites. Ms. Devi has been instrumental in helping us on the ground, but it's extremely difficult for foreigners to qualify. Would there be a way to be more pragmatic, or do you see the way you're going forward already as successful?
Sure. Which company is yours?
It was under G Fonmais and ITC from Turkey.
From Turkey, okay. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Semarang tender was under the previous regulation. So I think the whole idea of the government releasing the new presidential decree is to make sure it's designed well so that can deliver the goals to fix the emergency in waste, but it's also probably getting the feedbacks from what is happening before, the challenges. And one of the solution is that the tender is centralized, run by Danantara. So hopefully it's make it easier, instead of the bidder has to deal with different tender in each city dealing with the local government. So we'll take care of the negotiation with the local government. We take care of the negotiation with the PLN on the PPA and so on, as an example. And we try to run a tender that is as independent as possible. And you can contact me after this. It's actually announced in the media. The way we approach, just to make it short, we have a pre-qualification stage where all these technology provider try to submit their proposal, and then we'll select. We put it as a registered technology provider. After that, we do a limited tender inviting only this name. We'll open this again, so feel free to submit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, Pak Steve, Pak Arief, thank you very much for time. And with that, we would like to conclude the meeting. And thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download Metro TV Extend sekarang.